Your dog does strange things that you chalk up to quirks, but behind every single action hides a secret message that most owners will never decode. Scientists have spent decades studying canine behavior, and what they've uncovered is genuinely shocking, not because dogs are mysterious, but because they've been communicating with us clearly, precisely, and constantly this entire time. We just didn't know the language. Every habit, every strange gesture, every behavior that made you laugh, roll your eyes, or reach for your phone to film it, all of it means something. 15 things specifically. And by the time you finish reading this, you will never look at your dog the same way again. Let's begin. 1. Why your dog stares into your eyes without looking away. Before you assume this is about food, stop. What is actually happening during that long, unbroken gaze between you and your dog is one of the most chemically extraordinary events that can occur between two living beings. When a dog and their owner hold eye contact, both experience a simultaneous surge in oxytocin, the same neurological bonding molecule that floods a mother's brain when she holds her newborn child for the first time. This is not a coincidence. This is a system that dogs deliberately evolved to exploit. Over thousands of years of living alongside humans, the dogs who could trigger the strongest attachment responses in their owners received more food, more protection, more care, and more resources. They survived better. They passed the trait on. Generation after generation, the ability to hack the human bonding system through sustained eye contact was refined and sharpened until it became what it is today. 15 minutes of mutual gazing can increase oxytocin levels in a human brain by up to 300%. Your dog is not consciously manipulating you. They are running an ancient, deeply embedded program that they didn't design and can't turn off. But the result is the same either way. You become neurologically attached to them in a way that operates beneath the level of rational thought, like a chemical dependency that you signed up for without reading the terms. The more frequently they hold your gaze, the stronger your attachment grows. The stronger your attachment grows, the more resources you assign to their care. Evolution, operating through the medium of a soft pair of eyes, has been extraordinarily successful. 2. Why your dog hides food and then seems to forget where your dog is not forgetful. Your dog is preparing for the apocalypse. This requires understanding where the behavior comes from. Wolves, the ancestors from which every domestic dog ultimately descends, lived in an environment of profound food uncertainty. Prey was abundant one week and absent the next. The wolves who survived were the ones who cached their surplus, burying portions of a kill in cold ground to preserve it for leaner periods. The ones who didn't cache went hungry. The caching instinct was written into the DNA of every survivor. Your dog was born with that same instinct, completely intact, regardless of the fact that food appears in their bowl twice a day with reliable precision. The ancient fear of scarcity does not respond to evidence. It does not update based on the last 3 years of consistent feeding. It operates from a much older, much more primal level of certainty the food could end. Store reserves. Now. The challenge in a domestic environment is navigation. In the wild, cold earth masks the scent of buried food, allowing the wolf to locate their cache precisely. In your apartment, the entire space smells of food from every direction. The scent trails that should lead back to the hiding spot are overwhelmed by ambient food smell, and the dog genuinely cannot locate what they buried an hour ago. There is also a meaningful behavioral signal buried here. Dogs who begin hiding food more frequently than usual are often responding to something in their environment that feels unstable. A change in routine, a new person or animal in the house, elevated tension among the humans around them. The hoarding intensifies when the world feels uncertain. If you want to reduce it, show your dog consistently and repeatedly that the food supply is infinite and reliable. Demonstrate abundance. The ancient fear can be soothed. It simply requires patient, repetitive evidence. 3. Why your dog howls. When you sing or music plays, your dog is not criticizing your singing voice. They are trying to join the choir. In wolf packs, group howling is a ritual of profound social significance. It synchronizes the pack. It signals territorial boundaries to outsiders. Most importantly, it binds. The shared act of howling together reinforces emotional and social connection between members of the group. Each wolf contributes a different pitch, different tone, creating a layered harmonic that functions as acoustic identity for the entire pack. When you sing, your dog hears something that resonates at the frequency of a howl, the long, sustained, modulated tones that in their ancestral memory mean the pack leader is calling. Respond. Add your voice. Complete the harmony. They are not mocking you. They are answering you. They are doing the thing their entire social nature has been designed to do when the pack leader raises their voice in the ancient signal. The fact that dogs will howl to sirens, certain instruments, and specific songs but remain silent through others reveals something genuinely interesting. Dogs have real auditory preferences. There are frequencies they respond to, and frequencies they don't. The ones that trigger the howl are the ones that to their ears most closely resemble the call their DNA has been waiting to answer for 15,000 years. If your dog howls when you sing, take it as the highest possible compliment. In their understanding, you are the alpha initiating the sacred unity song, and they are doing their part. 4. Why your dog rolls in dead things and disgusting smells. Nothing about this is random. It is ancient. It is deliberate. And your dog is genuinely proud of the result. The behavior traces directly to predatory camouflage strategy. Wolves approaching prey had to neutralize one of their greatest disadvantages, their own scent. Prey animals can detect predator odor from extraordinary distances, providing enough warning to escape before the hunt begins. The wolves who survived were the ones who found ways to mask their natural smell, and the most effective masking agents available in a wild environment are the powerful complex odors of decay, death, and other animals. Rolling in a dead fish or a pile of something putrid doesn't smell like wolf anymore. It smells like the landscape. It provides cover. It is the equivalent of a hunter's camouflage suit, assembled from the most effective materials the environment offers. Your dog does not hunt in the park. They know this on some level. But the instinct that says, mask your scent before moving through territory, does not consult their calendar or check whether a hunt is actually scheduled. It fires when triggered by the right stimulus, which is any smell sufficiently powerful and complex to function as effective camouflage. And when it's done, your dog looks up with pure, unambiguous pride. They brought the pack, meaning you, a gift. They improved the hunting prospects for everyone. They did the thing their deepest nature asked them to do, and they did it well. Your horror at the result is genuinely incomprehensible to them. The only appropriate response is gratitude, and the only reason they're now being dragged toward the bathroom is a mystery they will never fully solve. 5. Why your dog licks your wounds and cuts. This one has science behind it, and the science is more interesting than most people expect. Canine saliva contains antibacterial peptides, specifically lysozyme, and other compounds that have been confirmed by research to actively inhibit bacterial growth and accelerate wound healing by measurable margins. In wolf packs, members lick each other's injuries routinely, and survival rates within groups are significantly higher than those of isolated animals dealing with the same injuries untreated. When your dog sees a cut on your skin, something activates immediately in completely injured pack member. Initiate care protocol. They move toward the wound and apply the only medicine available to them, their saliva, with full conviction that they are helping. Because they are in fact helping. Within specific limits. The canine mouth also hosts bacteria that are potentially harmful to humans, particularly in deep or open wounds. Surface scratches and minor cuts can tolerate licking relatively safely. Anything deeper should be kept away from a dog's mouth regardless of their intentions. The important thing to understand is what it means when you pull away. From your dog's perspective, they extended care to a wounded family member and were rejected. They were doing their best and were turned away by the person they love most. Acknowledge the gesture. Show appreciation in your tone, then redirect. They tried to save you. That deserves more than irritation. 6. Why your dog brings you dead animals. Your dog thinks you are completely incapable of feeding yourself, and they have decided to do something about it. The behavior is educational in intent. Dogs and cats who bring dead prey to their owners are not showing off, and they are not being disturbing for the pleasure of it. They are teaching. Specifically, they are teaching someone they have assessed as a hunting incompetent. Someone who has never once in all their observations successfully caught prey with their bare hands, the most fundamental survival skill they possess. The progression follows a logical instructional arc, The prey is dead first to make things easier for the beginner. Later, partially incapacitated prey may arrive for more advanced practice. The dog is working through a curriculum that makes complete internal sense. They expect one of two responses: you eat the gift demonstrating successful learning, or you offer enthusiastic praise demonstrating that you understand and appreciate the lesson. Either response confirms that the effort was worthwhile. Your actual response, screaming, recoiling, running for gloves and a paper bag, is devastating to them. They worked hard for this. They found the best thing they could find. They carried it home. And the look on your face tells them that none of it was right. Accept the gift with warmth in your voice. Praise the effort sincerely. Remove it quietly afterward when they're not watching. The relationship will survive your deception. 7. Why your dog yawns. When you look at them, this yawn is not boredom. It is not tiredness. It is a deliberate, sophisticated social signal. And once you understand it, you will see it constantly in situations where you previously saw nothing at all. In canine body language, a direct sustained stare is an act of challenge. It is the visual grammar of dominance, assertion, and potential aggression. When one dog stares at another, the receiving dog must respond either by escalating into confrontation or by de-escalating through appeasement signals. The yawn is an appeasement signal. It communicates with remarkable precision. I am not challenging you. I am not a threat. I have no interest in conflict. We are fine. It is the social equivalent of open hands, a visible, unmistakable gesture of peace. When you look at your dog with any kind of seriousness or intensity, even if you are simply thinking about something else and your gaze happens to land on them, they may read it as a stare and respond accordingly. The yawn is their way of keeping the atmosphere comfortable between you. There is a second dimension that is equally remarkable. Dogs yawn contagiously in response to people they love. Research has confirmed that dogs yawn in reaction to their owner's yawn 5 times more frequently than they do in reaction to a stranger's yawn. The contagious yawn requires emotional connection and is triggered by the depth of the bond. It is in its way a measure of love. If your dog never yawns when you do the emotional bridge between, you may need more building. If they yawn every time, take it as evidence of something genuine and mutual. 8. Why your dog circles before lying down. 3-4 rotations, every single time without fail before settling onto your perfectly clean, perfectly flat, perfectly safe sofa cushion. The behavior is ancient beyond meaningful comprehension, and it runs on a program that predates your furniture by several million years. Wild canids preparing to sleep would circle their chosen spot to flatten grass, clear snow, push away debris, and critically check for hidden threats. Snakes, scorpions, sharp objects. The circling also activated scent glands in the paw pads, marking the territory as claimed. It created a customized sleeping depression shaped to the animal's body. It was a complete pre-sleep safety protocol executed efficiently before every rest cycle. Your dog executes the same protocol on your sofa. Not because they think there are scorpions in the cushions. They don't think about it at all. The program runs automatically triggered by the act of preparing to sleep because 15,000 years of domestication hasn't been quite enough to overwrite the hardwired command that says, check the ground before you lie down. Research reveals something telling: dogs circle more extensively on uneven or irregular surfaces than on smooth ones, suggesting the behavior is still partly responsive to actual environmental conditions. The program hasn't gone completely dormant, it's just running in a context where it's no longer strictly necessary. Older dogs with arthritis circle less. Not because the instinct is faded, but because the movement hurts. If a dog who has always circled suddenly stops or circles far longer than usual with apparent difficulty, it is worth attention. 9. Why your dog stops to sniff every single post on a walk. This is not stubbornness. This is not distraction. This is your dog reading the news. Every post, every tree base, every fire hydrant, every patch of ground where another dog paused is a densely layered information archive. A single sniff delivers a complete profile of every dog who visited that location. Recently, sex, age, reproductive status, approximate health condition, emotional state at the time of the visit, and whether they represent a potential threat or a potential social opportunity. Your dog is navigating their social world in real time. They know who lives in this neighborhood. They know who passed through this morning. They know who is in season, who is sick, who is new. They are absorbing weeks of local history in seconds with a precision that makes any human social media platform look crude by comparison. Rushing your dog through this is the equivalent of snatching someone's phone out of their hand in the middle of an important conversation and dragging them away. More than that, 15 minutes of active engaged sniffing fatigues a dog more effectively than an hour of physical running. It is serious cognitive work. It depletes mental energy, reduces anxiety, improves mood, and provides the kind of genuine stimulation that a fast-paced walk on a short leash cannot replicate. Sniff time is not wasted time. For your dog's mental health, it may be the most important time in the day. 10. Why your dog's legs move while they sleep. Your dog is not just dreaming. They are living fully completely with total sensory immersion in an entirely separate reality. The rapid eye movement phase of canine sleep activates the same neural regions as waking experience. The brain during this phase is generating experiences that are indistinguishable from real ones. The dog who is twitching on your floor is running, chasing, playing, solving problems. They are not watching a dream the way you might watch a film. They are inside it. The occasional incomplete paralysis that allows the legs to move, the muffled barks and whimpers to escape these, are the real behaviors bleeding through the thin membrane between the dream state and the waking body. Puppies and elderly dogs dream more frequently due to differences in nervous system processing at both ends of the lifespan. The content of what a dog dreams about correlates directly with what they experience during the day. An active afternoon walk produces active dreaming. A quiet, uneventful day produces quieter sleep. Never startle a dog awake during visible dreaming. A dog jerked from deep REM sleep is briefly disoriented in a way that bypasses social recognition. They may react before they know who you are, and the reaction can be sharp. Wake them gently with your voice if you must wake them at all, and if your dog wakes suddenly from sleep looking frightened and disoriented, comfort them quietly. Dogs experience nightmares. The fear is real even if the threat was not. 11. Why your dog presses against you from the side. Not the front. The side press is a canine embrace, but it is simultaneously something more functional and more intimate than a simple hug. When a dog presses their flank against you, their full body weight leaning into your leg or hip, they are making full surface contact that allows them to read your complete physical state in seconds. Your heartbeat, your breathing pattern, your skin temperature, the micro vibrations of tension or relaxation in your muscles. Through that single point of extended contact, they receive a comprehensive scan of your current condition. In wolf packs, members sleep pressed flank to flank, maintaining physical connection for warmth, security, and constant mutual monitoring. The position is both practical and deeply social. The front of the body, the nose, the face is used for brief greeting interactions. The side is used for sustained, intimate connection. When your dog approaches and leans against you with their full body, they are doing something more significant than asking for affection. They are checking on you. They are performing a welfare assessment of someone they are responsible for. If the behavior increases suddenly, if your dog begins pressing against you more persistently, more urgently than usual, it may mean they are detecting something in your physical or emotional state that warrants closer attention. They may be responding to your stress before you have consciously registered it yourself. Or they may be anxious and seeking the regulating effect of your heartbeat against their side. Either way, don't push them away. The side press is an active connection operating at a level deeper than words. 12. Why your dog barks at certain people with no visible reason. Your dog is not being irrational. Your dog simply has access to information you cannot perceive. Dogs operate with sensory inputs that fall entirely outside human range. Infrasound frequencies, biochemical signatures carried in sweat and skin, micro-expressions in body movement that resolve at a temporal precision the human visual system cannot match, heart rate changes detectable from across a room, the specific hormonal cocktail released by fear-hidden aggression or acute stress which to your dog's olfactory system is as obvious as a visible mark. A person who appears completely calm and normal to you may be radiating cortisol, adrenaline, or the distinct chemical signature of concealed hostile intent. Your dog reads all of it before they have processed the person's face. Dogs have also been documented responding with heightened alertness to people with certain medical conditions, people under the influence of various substances, and people exhibiting the subtle behavioral irregularities associated with some mental health conditions. They are reading a spectrum that human perception simply does not cover. When your dog dislikes someone without apparent cause, the appropriate response is not to dismiss it. It is to look more carefully. Your dog has run an assessment and reached a conclusion based on data you didn't receive. They are not infallible, but they are rarely operating on nothing. 13. Why your dog buries the best treats instead of eating them immediately. Here is something counterintuitive. The more your dog values a treat, the more likely they are to bury it rather than eat it. The logic is ancient and internally consistent. The caching instinct says the most valuable resources must be preserved for the moment of greatest need. Ordinary food gets consumed immediately because ordinary food is not worth the risk of losing to another pack member or a competing predator. But something extraordinary, something rare and high value is worth the effort and risk of concealment to be retrieved at a future moment when it will matter most. There is also a flavor component that sounds improbable, but has been confirmed. Behaviorally cached food allowed to age and ferment slightly actually becomes more appealing to canine taste preferences over time. Wolves return to buried prey after weeks and consume it with evident pleasure at what humans would classify as a state of advanced decomposition. The waiting is not a sacrifice. It is by their standards an investment. When your dog takes the most special thing you gave them and buries it carefully instead of eating it on the spot, they are paying you an unusual compliment. They valued your gift so highly that it qualified for strategic long-term storage. Ordinary things get eaten. Extraordinary things get protected. 14. Why your dog puts their paw on you while you pet them. This is not a request for more. Not exactly. What your dog is establishing through the gesture of placing their paw on your hand or arm while you stroke them is reciprocity. Equality of participation. The message is clear. You touch me, I touch you. This is a conversation between equals, not a service being provided. The paw is their hand. It is the closest approximation available to them of returning the physical gesture you are offering. And for dogs, the ability to participate actively in physical contact rather than simply receiving it as a passive object of affection is genuinely important. They need to be contributors, not recipients. Sometimes the paw has a directional function. The dog is guiding your hand toward a specific location that needs attention. An itch, a spot they want scratched. The physical gesture is more precise than it first appears. A relaxed, loosely placed paw means reciprocity and contentment. A tense, pressing paw may be communication of a different kind, enough now, rather than more please. The context and the body language around the gesture determine which message is being sent. Watch the paw. It is your dog's attempt to have a conversation on equal terms in the only physical language they have available. 15. Why your dog suddenly climbs all over you for no apparent reason. This is the one that should make you pay attention in a different way entirely. When your dog suddenly and urgently needs to be physically on top of you, climbing onto your chest, pressing their nose into your neck, refusing to settle at a distance, they may not be seeking comfort. They may be responding to something they detected in you. Dogs have been documented detecting cancerous tissue, predicting epileptic seizures minutes before they occur, alerting to hypoglycemic episodes in diabetics before any physical symptoms are externally visible, and identifying changes in hormone levels, including those associated with pregnancy. The mechanism in all of these cases is the same. Your internal biology, when it shifts in significant ways, produces detectable changes in the chemicals your body releases. Your dog smells these changes, and when what they smell indicates something unusual, something concerning the response is to get closer, to investigate the source, to cover it with their body heat, which increases blood flow to the area and releases endorphins, to stay near the thing that needs monitoring. They also hear what you cannot. Infrasound from approaching weather systems. Seismic activity at distances that make the vibrations imperceptible to human senses. structural or mechanical sounds in your building that fall outside human hearing range but register clearly to them. If your dog suddenly becomes persistently, insistently physical climbing on you, repeatedly refusing to leave your side, returning to the same part of your body with focused attention, and this is not their normal behavior, listen to what they're telling you. Get the thing they keep returning to checked. Your dog may know something about your body that you haven't found out yet, and everything they are doing is aimed at one goal, making sure you survive it. Every circle before sleep, every side press against your leg, every dead thing arrived at your feet, every gaze held a second longer than necessary. Your dog has been telling you something in every single one of these moments. The same thing really said 15 different ways in 15 different behaviors. I see you. I am here. I am paying attention. You matter to me more than anything else in my world. Now you know how to say it back.